Test, test, test. There we go. Didn't do a thing. Hands never left my arms. Okay, so we have audio here. Okay, an old magician's joke there, right? Okay, so audio's good. We're recording properly. Okay to proceed? Thank you, sir. Okay, so with that, Madam Clerk, okay, we have before us the meeting minutes for November 24, December 10, and December 22 of the year 2020. Do we have a motion to adopt same and waive the reading thereof?
So moved.
Second, discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Okay, and Jason Boyd, County Administrator, do we have any public comments? Thank you, sir.
Good morning, good afternoon, Commissioners. Happy New Year. We have 3 submitted public comments for this afternoon's meeting. I'll begin with the first public comment submitted by Patricia Denny from Concord. Quote, because the Commissioners won't fund the health district adequately, it seems they continue to stall good progress on things like testing and contract tracing. I hear that they now do not want to register people for Phase 1B. It's another stain on our collective ability to respond to this virus. It reflects the mentality of not caring about the health and welfare of the people who live in Lake County, end quote.
Thank you, sir.
The second public comment submitted by Mr. David Lima, Mentor, Ohio, begin quote, I visited the Lake County General Health District website today for information about the district's vaccine plan. As I expected, I discovered individuals in Phase 1A are currently being scheduled for vaccination. Another notice reads, at this time, the health district is not pre-registering for Phase 1B. I can see no reason not to register individuals in Group 1B. This is unacceptable. Procedure needs to be changed immediately, allowing individuals to at least register for the vaccination scheduling. When vaccinations for Group 1A have been completed, then scheduling for individuals in 1B can commence. This will prevent a rush to register and potential crashing of the website. Geauga County Public Health is currently accepting registrations, allowing them to schedule vaccinations when individuals are eligible and the vaccine is available. I am requesting the Board of County Commissioners to instruct the Health Commissioner to make this change. Thanks, Dave Lima, end quote.
Thank you.
Our third public comment this afternoon submitted by Ellen Chamberlain, begin quote, would the Commissioners please respond to the letter from Joel Lucia, former Health Commissioner, printed in the January 2nd News Herald. What is the plan for reducing the number of people getting sick with COVID-19 in Lake County? Thank you, respectfully, Ellen Chamberlain, end quote. That concludes our public comments this afternoon.
Thank you, sir. I would like to address those in reverse order because I think that'll be the most enlightening. To Ellen Chamberlain, thank you, Ellen, for pointing out that Joel Lucia is the former health commissioner. I believe he retired in 2009. I did get a preview of this. I did not realize that this was going to become a letter to the editor sent to me prior to its being published. I did take the opportunity to reach out to Joel Lucia and discuss his letter to the editor, and there were a number of patently false statements in his letter to the editor that I took exception to, and we discussed in great detail. If I can summarize our conversation, I would like to step to the issue of, quote, in Lake County we have an emergency management agency. He went on to talk about the members and representatives of that. He was dead wrong. I just want to say now and for the record, what he was recalling was the operational activities associated with a peri-nuclear power plant drill. The participants in that drill are not part of any governing body of the Emergency Management Agency. They are professionals tasked with specific jobs and activities relative to a situation that could arise at the power plant or a similarly situated event, such as the train derailment or other type of incidents. As a former health commissioner, I challenged him on what he indicated in his article as a lack of knowledge as to who would be in charge in a health emergency. As a former health commissioner himself, he knows full well that the laws that are in effect today that are governing Health Commissioner Ron Graham are the same rules that were governing him as health commissioner. I challenged him on his stance on this, and candidly and bluntly, I said then and I'll say now that the very confusion and disinformation that he is trying to point out needs to be nipped is exactly what his editorial did. I was disappointed to see that both of our print media did print this without vetting it. I was not aware that something as significant as this could make its way into the newspaper without anybody questioning it. I was disappointed to see that. Again, there's too many factually misleading and inappropriate statements here to go into, but they are disappointing to see that someone of Joel Lucia's stature and who was in fact a respected member of our community would be making such statements at this point in his career. Switching to Patricia Denny, the Lake County Board of Commissioners do not fund the Lake County General Health District. Lake County General Health District is a separate political subdivision. I will look to our legal counsel. If I say anything inappropriate, please correct me. The Board of Commissioners do not govern the activities of the Health District. There is a governing board, the Health District Board. Mike DeLeon, would you care to give a little bit of background on that and what the mechanics are behind that, please?
Yes. The Board of Health appoints the Health Commissioner, and the Health Commissioner is directly answerable to the Board of Health. So some of these concerns should be addressed to either the Health Commissioner and or the Lake County General Health District Board of Health.
Thank you, sir. And in reference to the second paragraph, it reflects a mentality of not caring about the health and welfare of the people who live in Lake County. I abundantly disagree with that. There are concerted efforts to address the pandemic here in Lake County. I will tell you with absolute certainty, Lake County continues to be one of the model counties in the state. If you look at our numbers and the way that we have been acting and reacting is emblematic of many of the practices that the state health district has picked up, health board, I should say, and has been propagated out to other health districts. So I truly believe that our Lake County General Health District is making the best of a bad situation. Is there room for improvement? Absolutely, because they also share a belief in continuous improvement. Moving on to Mr. Lima, if I may. I don't know where to begin. We still have people in the Phase 1A. There are a number of folks being taken care of in that category. That is the most urgent at this time. And there are physical limitations as to the number of vaccines that have been delivered to Lake County. The physical numbers are just not there. Moving on to the Group 1B, perhaps you're not aware that the health district is not going to be having sole responsibility. Our healthcare providers, all the way down to the local doctors in their individual practices, can request and participate in vaccinations. So there is not going to be a single choke point. So I just want to be abundantly clear on that. And if I could just go to, and this is a reflection back to our previous conversations, the statement, the Board of County Commissioners instruct the commissioner to make this change. The Board of Lake County Commissioners, as previously indicated, have no authority over the health district or the health commissioner specifically. I just want to be abundantly clear on that. So as our administrator pointed out, if you have concerns about operations or practices, I would highly encourage that you refer those to the Lake County General Health District. They are very good at getting back to people. And again, I give them praise for their efforts and again, continuous improvement as they find better ways to do things. But please keep your comments coming. These are very relevant and I do appreciate the reaching out to us. We will be referring these questions and concerns to them, just so they have a heads up. But if you wish to follow up with them, I think that would be most appropriate. And again, thank you for your public comments. Jason, anything further? Has anything popped in?
No additional comments. Well, I will look when I go back and under the second portion we'll submit
Yes.
that. But I did want to just, in conversations with Health Commissioner Graham, he has a dedicated team planning the mass vaccination process here in Lake County. As been stated, they're currently using the doses they have in accordance with the plan, which is Tier 1A. That process is going really well here in Lake County. Looks like they've dispensed, after tomorrow, about 93% of their doses that they have received. That's just the health district proper. So the district, along with the county, all of our communities, we've had a series of meetings for a couple weeks now on what subsequent phases are. They are in the process of developing a tool that will allow residents to receive notifications about the next phase and the vaccine availability, hopefully as soon as next week. That comes from the health commissioner himself, and he encouraged our residents to continue monitoring their website, which is lcghd.org. Thank you.
Very good. And we do have a link to that also on our county website.
Yep, we do. Thank you.
And the reason we're doing that is, again, to speak with one voice and respecting chain of command, if you will. Our health district is the authority having jurisdiction on these health issues. And rather than having overlapping or dated materials, we're doing direct referrals back to them. Mike, did you want to comment on any of that, or did that sum it up, sir?
That was 100% correct, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. If there's is there anyone in the audience who wishes to comment? No takers? Thank you. Okay, that concludes our first public comment portion. Moving on to our resolution. Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Young, I believe you had something you wanted to add. I'm so sorry. I'm a little absent-minded, sorry.
Oh, you're just focused, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I would say that if any confusion has been generated in the general public, and I don't believe that's the case, that perhaps it's because the commission has focused in large part on keeping Lake County rolling, keeping businesses open, and people working, and families staying together, and kids staying in school. And in so doing, keeping many people out of the whole drug culture, keeping folks out of family courts, because when people don't have jobs, there's a lot of friction within families. When people don't have jobs, they're naturally applying for more and more subsidies through the government. Society begins to fall apart in many ways. Crime skyrockets. And so we have indeed focused on those types of issues. At the same time, I don't believe we've fallen behind other counties in any way when it comes to the necessity of discipline, of wearing masks, of keeping folks from congregating in large groups, of responding to businesses who are having problems with people refusing to wear masks. I don't think we're behind any county in the state of Ohio when it comes to restricting those types of activities. But our focus has been on the future of Lake County, on our companies, on our jobs, on our families. So maybe we've done such a good job in those areas that, and talking about those areas, that people haven't noticed all the good work we've been doing on limiting the pandemic directly as well, and spending a good deal of money doing that. So I just wanted to throw that into the mix for something to consider for anyone who's out there wondering what Lake County's been doing. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Madam Clerk, first resolution, please.
In the Utilities Department, resolution awarding a bid contract in the amount of $485,880.50 to American Environmental Group Limited for gas collection control system improvements for the Lake County Solid Waste Facility Project 429L.
Move to adopt.
Second, and Randy, discussion?
Sure, thank you, Commissioner. This is an expansion to our methane gas collection system. It's going to include 9 wells and about 1,500 feet of pipe to make sure that the methane gas is collected and not put out into the atmosphere.
And this was also, I believe, part of our, I'm going to say odor mitigation, for lack of a better term. I know we spent a great deal of time dealing with the existing wells and the water that would leachate, I believe, the buildup. Is this also going to be a part of reducing the, as you said, venting to the atmosphere? This also be a significant contributor to limiting odors from the landfill?
Correct. The methane gas is the source of, typically the source of the odors, and this project will also include some improvements to remove more of the leachate effectively. Correct.
Okay, and I'm just going to throw this one out there. So is this gas being collected for sale, for processing? Are they going to do anything productive, or are they just going to flare it off and burn it locally?
Right now, it's just being flared.
Gotcha. Okay. Is there any plan to, or again, that's where you run into problems, as I understand. If you collect it to a marketable density,
Sure.
then you also get some leakage to the atmosphere, which adds to the odor issues. Is that,
Right now, there's really not a market for the gas because
Okay.
natural gas is still inexpensive.
Right, right.
And this does have to go through a significant process in order to be used for heating and second source. We would expect at some point in the future, we do have plans to be able to reuse this gas either through electrical generation or selling for heat, or there's several options that are available that we are looking towards in the future. But at this point, it is just being flared off to make sure that it's destroyed so it's not harmful to the environment.
Okay.
very good, thank you, Commissioner
Randy,
Young.
what is it that's unnatural about this gas? Never, you don't have to answer that question.
Ba-dum-bum. Madam Clerk, save us. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
And Job and Family Services Department, resolution approving Lake County Department of Job and Family Services vouchers, date of warrant, January 8th, 2021, in the amount of $72,809.01.
Move to adopt.
Oh, second. Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Commissioner's Office, resolution declaring certain Lake County property surplus or obsolete and not needed for the use for which it was acquired, and authorizing the sale of surplus Lake County personal property according to Section 307.1.12B1 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Move to adopt.
Second. Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution for the emergency purchase of radio communications equipment for emergency services and safety forces.
Move to adopt?
Move to adopt.
I'll second that. Discussion?
Yeah, I did have a question on this. What's the approximate cost for,
I believe we have allocated a range. I believe the range is from anywhere from 3 to 600,000. This is necessary in the event that we are not able to obtain product from the state term schedule. This gives us the greatest degree of flexibility given the nature of the required purchase.
is the intention to put this out to bid as far as you know?
This would prevent us from having to go out to bid, especially state term schedule. That's predetermined pricing, which if you can get off that schedule, you do not have to go out to bid. If there is something which does not meet the specification and we have to go to an outside source, this would allow us to go directly to that source for a technically compatible equipment.
Let's discuss this a little bit more. This may be something that I'd like to see go out to bid.
That's not an option, sir.
Oh,
We have a defined emergency, we have a single point of failure, we have a system that has gone off the air, jeopardizing police, fire, EMS, Lake Tran, all the schools, the entire Marks radio system for this quadrant of the state. Going out to bid is not an option, sir.
Well, we can discuss this. Let's put this off for today.
No, sir, this is not,
Well, we have to. So I'm not prepared to vote for it.
We have an emergency situation. Legal, could you, we are in full compliance with the Ohio Revised Code. Am I correct on that?
Yes, Commissioner.
County Administrator Jason Boyd, we had an emergency situation
I'm
where
aware of the emergency.
I'm uncomfortable putting police, fire, EMS, and candidly our residents. Again, I believe this is a matter subject to fair debate. If you have specific questions, I'm from an engineering perspective, I'm fully prepared to answer that. From a legal perspective, we have our legal counsel president, we have our administrator who's intimately familiar with the project. This is a matter of great urgency. It is the first time in my 4 years, now fifth, that we've ever even had to do something like this. It's if I could give you the history, we also did a mechanical, electrical, plumbing review of the facility, and I had specifically requested identification of single points of failure, which is why we were able to respond so quickly after the failure had occurred. We were already in the process of identifying single points of failure. We have our engineering with, oh good heavens, I'm Tim Pool, Tech, or the electrical engineering firm. They had already started the engineering. Our telecommunications department was on top of it as far as the review and identification. And I believe Budget Director Matus has reviewed that we have the funding available through our capital funds for such an emergency contingency.
Okay. So you can go right ahead without my support.
Well, if you vote no and I vote yes, I don't think it passes.
It does not
That's why
pass.
I'm looking to legal.
It does not pass. with
And
a split
given our
vote.
current configuration
We're
of
going to
the,
have to discuss this and
Then-
put it
then-
on the agenda for next week.
I'm trying to be very diplomatic, but this is not a matter that can wait a week. This is something that if it failed right now today, when I say single point of failure, it's like if your heart explodes, you're dead. You can't go get a spare and go back next week and be resurrected.
The system has existed for some time under these conditions, and there was a brief failure, but no one died, and there were some delays and some question marks. But with this is radio equipment, right?
That's a legal definition that was necessary. There's specific language in the revised code for an emergency resolution that there's specific categories. That language was selected because of the most closely associated element to this was the radio system. Keep in mind that Central Dispatch, which dispatches for many of our agencies here in Lake County, we're also the prime site for all cellular 911 calls go to this facility. If this facility goes off the air, that becomes a real problem.
How long was the facility down for, Jason?
Approximately 30 to 45 minutes. And I guess if I may, Commissioner.
Jason, if you speak into your mic, I can barely
Sorry,
hear you myself.
can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Commissioners, we are following, completely following the Ohio Revised Code with this procurement process. Paul Stefanko, our electrical engineering partners, Tech Engineering, electrical contractor, Chapman Engineering, very well respected in the industry. A lot of times with the products of this line, we look at state procurement contracts, which are essentially pre-vetted and pre-bid, if you will. And there's also GSA Schedule 70, which is a federal pre-procurement list. Ideally, and our design team are looking at those lists right now for a product that meets the needs of our Lake County Emergency Operations Center. The resolution before you today is in the event the product, the manufacturer just does not make the best fit for Lake County, this will provide us a conduit to go down another avenue that is provided to us in the revised code. So we are not only looking at this avenue, we're also looking at procured, if you will, state procurement list, GSA Schedule 70, which allows us to move in a much more expeditious manner due to the sensitivity of the facility.
So that's the reason for no competitive bidding, so we can move more expeditiously.
Yes. Now, if we were, not to use a utility, if we were doing a water line and a preventive maintenance where it's not of critical of nature, we would do the 3 bids design like Randy's shop does, like we do for a building. Due to the sensitivity of the operation, this is a viable legal option for us to procure infrastructure. And those 2 other lists that I previously noted, and it comes out every year, the state has a pre-procurement list, as well as the federal government, where they vet these sorts of things. They publish those, and it allows public entities, and Michael, please help me if I'm misspeaking, to go ahead and grab that product right off. So we're looking at that avenue. If we can't find the unit that meets our needs, then this resolution for you today will allow us to go grab the unit that we need to make the Lake County Emergency Operations Center, a top quality product that it is today.
So we're not aware at this point what products would meet our needs.
We are aware of what we need. They are speccing that out. I would say they're in the 8th or 9th inning of that design.
Who are they, Jason?
Tech Engineering, Chapman Electric is a local contractor. Paul Stefanko, our telecommunications director. The current manufacturer is Eaton. Their team has been out on site and concurs that we need to replace this in short order. And from previous conversations, this product was on our 2021 replacement plan. And the events of a few weeks ago have just expedited that fashion. So
It's been thought out for some time.
yes, sir. It just, I think as Commissioner, it moved quickly up the priority list 3 weeks ago.
Okay. I'm prepared to vote yes now, then, at this point.
Thank you.
And for benefit of the viewing audience, this is a matter subject to fair debate. It is not permissible by Revised Code for Open Meetings Acts for us to lobby each other prior to the meeting. So this type of discussion is exactly what an open meeting is about. So if anybody is wondering why this doesn't seem to have been worked out ahead of time, it's because we can't work it out ahead of time.
And I appreciate the candor and the questions. Yeah.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
So thank you, Commissioner
Okay,
Young.
let's go.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Madam, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, if there's no further discussion, none being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes, and thank you, sir.
Resolution appointing Gary L. Swanson to the Lake Tran Board of Trustees to complete an unexpired term ending May 15, 2022.
Move to adopt?
Second, discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution appointing Kevin D. Freese to the Lake County, Ohio Port and Economic Development Authority Board of Directors for a 4-year term expiring December 31st, 2024.
Move to adopt?
Second, discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $808,961.57.
Move to adopt?
Second, discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $1,495,633.81.
Move to adopt?
Second, discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations for various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to adopt?
Second, discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution transferring cash within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to adopt?
Second, discussion? None being heard, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Okay, this brings us to our departmental reports portion of our meeting. Utilities, Randy. Very good, thank you, sir. And County Administrator, Jason Boyd.
Yes, thank you, Commissioners. Just briefly, earlier in the meeting, Commissioner Young talked about the county's commitment to local businesses and so on. And I just had a call earlier this afternoon with Rhea Benton from our Community Development Department. And as the board knows, we have a second round of CDBG CARES Act dollars forthcoming. And we are going to begin soliciting additional grants and loans for our small business community in the next week or so. So I just wanted to spread that news to the business community that, unfortunately, the first $700,000 went to our community. The commissioners, if you recall, a few weeks ago had a public hearing with the second round. We're going to allocate a portion of that award again. And I just wanted to let you know that Rhea and her team are getting ready to move forward on another round to help our small businesses. If you recall, they were $5,000 grants, and then low-interest loans up to $20,000 with some exceptions that go up to $50,000 if circumstances warranted. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Finance. I do have a question for legal. So we have our budget hearings coming up. And budget hearings, I believe that would be a public meeting. So my question is, and I hate to put you on the spot like this, but again, public meeting. How would we want to do those hearings? Would we want to hold them here so that we could have them scheduled within a reasonable time frame of at this time we're having a public hearing for and start and stop? How do we do that to satisfy, again, since we don't have, or could we open the building for the public to come in since we do schedule and make accommodations? What would be your thoughts on that? And again, I hate putting you on the spot if you don't have an answer this moment, but I thought we should get that discussion out on the floor.
No, that's a great question, and I'm presuming that that's a COVID-related question. How to
It
do
is.
this with
That's
the
a
cleaning in
significant
between.
component, yeah.
I would like to take a look at that and
Okay.
get with Mr. Coulson on that, and we'll get back to you rather quickly.
Okay, thank you. It's just I want to get out in front of that so that we're not having to figure this out on the day of, so. Okay, Madam, thank you, sir. Madam Clerk.
Yes, I just wanted to mention that our next regular commissioner meeting is going to be next Thursday, January 14th at 10 a.m.
Thank you, ma'am. And legal.
No report, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any old business to come before this board? Do we have any new business to come before the board? And before we roll into our second public comment, I'd like to welcome our new Clerk of Courts, Faith Andrews. She's joining us here today. It's good to see you, ma'am. Thank you for all you're doing. We're hearing good things. You're carrying on a long tradition of success over there. It sounds like you're fitting in wonderfully, so that's good to see. And we have also our County Recorder, Becky Lynch, joining us. So yay, Becky. Welcome. Thank you for both of you joining us here today. Did you have anything you wanted to add while you're here? Or no? I'm getting these smiles and no. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. There you go. There you go. I'm sorry, ma'am? If you please, if you would, join us at the podium here.
This down a little.
Yes, Jason is considerably taller, yes.
Right. I'm actually going to be opening up the title bureau to the public by appointment only, beginning on Monday, the 11th.
Excellent, excellent.
I've already given the information. I've sent press releases to the press, News Herald, and the Gazette. We're changing our website, so, and we already have our first appointment.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you.
good job.
That's all I have.
Thank you, ma'am. Much appreciated. Okay, moving into our, forgive me, our second public comment. Jason, do we have any additional public comments that have come in? Indicating none. Thank you. And this brings us to the, pardon me, folks, conclusion of our meeting. Getting all choked up here. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second, discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young?
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck?
Yes. Thank you for joining us today. This meeting stands, excuse me, adjourned. Good heavens.